How it goes, family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional evening on this wonderful Saturday. And it's a wonderful Saturday because we're alive and well. If you're alive and well, let me know in the chat room. And that's all that matters because, you just never know when your day may come where you might not be here anymore. So you got to learn to appreciate every single moment that you're here. You know what I'm saying, family? Anyways, I digress. So today's subject matter is going to be, pretty quick. I'm not going to really talk that much about why we're programmed to have jobs. I'm not saying anything about bad about having a job. Absolutely not. It's just one of those questions that come to mind. And at the end of the day, I just have to say that we're programmed to have specific jobs. We're programmed to do certain things, and we're a lot of times people are always shunned when it boils down to them thinking outside of the box. And those people that were shunned, they're the Russell Simmons or the Damon Johns or the Elon Musks. They are the Jeff Bezos. I mean, I could go on and on. Those are the people that thought outside of the box. Those are everybody. They're the Mark Cubans. Everybody that's considered a millionaire or a billionaire nowadays, a trillionaire nowadays. They considered in a sense the outcasts of society, no matter what field that they were in. And you have to ask yourself the question, all majority of education, especially from kindergarten to 12th grade, most institutions, you have some private institutions, you have some, charter schools that actually teach people to think outside of the box. They indulge in child creativity outside of just playing a musical instrument and outside of sports and things of that nature. So they really, and because creativity is, like, to me, one of the most powerful things on the planet. I think that's the best thing, about growing up in the social media age, is that creativity has been enhanced on so many levels, especially with all the podcasts and the YouTubing and the Instagrams and the TikToks. You see creativity on so many different levels, some everyday people, whether they're rich, whether they're middle class, whether they're poor. You see creativity expanded on a multitude of levels. And whether it's somebody having fun, whether it's somebody being extra serious, you see creativity just blasted. And I just have to always commend people that are about that kind of lifestyle, about putting their creativities out there. And it's very interesting. But before I go, well, I would do that at the end because I don't want to bring people down. But anyways, let's get this party started. We're going to go over some reasons why, not having a job is probably one of the best things that could ever happen to you. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's, like I said, it's not a bad thing to have a job. I've had multitude of jobs. But the pandemic has taught a lot of people about the beautiful quality of life. When you're not having to worry about being on the rat race and on the ground, especially for something that you don't particularly love doing, because there's a saying out there that states, do what you love, so that way you feel like you're never working a day in your life. Hey, what's going on, Chocolate Scholar? Appreciate that. Thanks for the love, brother. Hope all is well. That's my man right there, good old Dalen. But yeah, that's real. At the end of the day, you gotta put those two things into perspective. I'm man Dalen, good old Baltimore. If you want to hop on to say what's up, Dalen, that's cool. If not, it's all good, man. I always appreciate you stopping by. If so, anybody wants to chime in, definitely, just hit the link in the chat room. We go from there. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's a lot of reasons why. The pandemic has brought along the online evolution of people making it normal for most people to work from home. And for a lot of people having that opportunity, they don't even feel like they have a job because they get to wake up, they're in the shorts and the pajamas, whatever have you. They're logging in the computers and they're enjoying themselves. You know what I mean? They're doing what they do. And then they have actually more time to work on anything that they want to work on once they get off the clock. They don't have to worry about catching a train. They don't have to worry about commuting and paying tolls and gas and at car accidents and things of that nature. I mean, heck, I'm sure the insurance, what is it, I'm sure that a lot of dealerships and car shops and insurance companies, well, I'm sure insurance companies was actually happy that there was less car accidents during the pandemic, because that's less money that they have to worry about putting out. But I'm sure a lot of car shops, um, and probably even municipalities and whatnot were very angry that they did not have the opportunity to, have more people issue tickets to, because there was less people on the roads during the beginning of the pandemic. There was less car accidents. So given the fact, with that being said, you had a lot of less shops that had the opportunity to make money off people's car injuries. I mean, that's just how it is. So, but you've had people's quality of life go up. And that's, at the end of the day, you can't put a price tag on that, because you see a lot of rich people walking around and they're very, very miserable. All right. And I found this old article from one of the, as people will call them, a coastal elite, from a gentleman that was actually from the Bay Area, San Francisco area and whatnot. And it's basically titled 27 Reasons Why You Should Never Have a Job. And it just caught my attention. And I was like, what the heck? But very interesting, because at the end of the day, the gentleman actually I'm sorry, actually the young lady was actually, whose name Maureen Kate, stated that, it was Monday morning. She was sipping on her morning coffee, looking out the window, because she lived right next to the San Francisco Golden Bridge. So she's looking out the window, looking at the beautiful city of Oakland, California, and looking at the city of San Francisco. And she's watching everybody go to their 9-to-5s and whatnot, as she's writing about a blog about how to escape your 9-to-5, or the best things about escaping a 9-to-5, because she worked very hard. She used to work for Twitter, but then she actually working for Twitter full time, and then working part time, working on her online business and whatnot, and became very successful. And she was able to actually leave Twitter and whatnot. And she actually was interviewed going live on Twitter. So, it's just, to me, it's just one of those success stories, because you don't ever really get to hear people talk about things like that on a regular basis, to the point where, they give, not only, nowadays you hear more and more people giving the game about how you can, escape the 9-to-5, or I like to call it not escaping your 9-to-5. I like calling it turning your 9-to-5 into an option. We live in a generation of options. So why not your income being an option? I can't put it any other way on that aspect. We live in that, if you make, everything, we have an option. I can't, like I said, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've actually gone out and gone to a restaurant, because I don't have to anymore. That's what DoorDash and Grubhub is for. It's like I've lost the need to even want to go out to a restaurant anymore. I was like, I just had my food at my house, where it's much more comfortable, less drama, no negativity, no fake wannabe gangster nonsense going on. And I could just be in the comforts of my own home and whatnot. So, but that's another story for another day. But the main reasons they stated, what she stated, first was, we didn't always have jobs. And that's interesting fact to look at least in the regular 9-to-5 aspect of it. Now, a lot of people can go into other situations, but, you had slavery, and that was just 24 hours, 7 days a week thing. But as far as if you're really just going into the aspects of just 9-to-5 work, great example. And the first factories in the United States of America literally just had people pushing carts back and forth on the factory floor. A lot of people were accustomed to actually working hours for hours straight, that their owners at times would do certain things to just keep them occupied. They actually let them get, especially if they're working at like a winery or gin factory or something to that effect. The boss allowed them to drink all day just to keep them happy and whatnot, just so that they could have a good day's work. So, because some people, some alcoholics can do that. They can work while they're drunk. I don't understand that aspect, but whatever works for you. And then another thing is that's actually allowed people to leave the workforce, if you really want to put things into perspective, minimalism. And that's been I think that's been a very big push for like the last 10 years. And if you don't know what minimalism is, it's basically just having, especially within the digital age, a lot more people have more things on their cell phones than they actually physically do in person. Like, we don't live in the age of CDs anymore. So most people's music is online. Even though I'm still old school, I love to read with my hard copy books, but you live in a time where you have audible books. So people can just listen to the books wherever they may be. We live in a digital economy. So a lot of times people don't even have a lot of books and things of that nature. DVDs is a thing of the past. Everything is digital. We're streaming everything. We're watching our television shows, documentaries. podcasts, we're watching our movies and whatnot. Everything is digitized and whatnot. So we live in a time frame, especially with the pandemic. People have had less reasons to buy outfits that they don't actually need. That people just buy. I mean, even myself, I'm guilty of it. I still have a bunch of suits in my closet that I've worn maybe 2 times during the whole pandemic because I had a less need to wear them, and I don't even have a reason to buy suits like that or even dress clothes period or clothes period unless it's out of necessity. Like you're just your regular undergarments, things of that nature. Not gonna get too personal, but the aspect of minimalism. A lot of people, especially people who live in cities, have given up having cars. People just have the bicycles, scooters. That people don't realize that there's actually communities of people that ride scooters, motorcycles. They just ride bicycles and they never have a car and whatnot because they live in a place where if they can't walk to it or ride their bike to it, they can just get it delivered. I think most places are like that nowadays. I mean, you can get your everything delivered nowadays. Everything. You got mobile everything nowadays. We're living in a time where people have less and less reason to leave their house. All right. But I just leave that alone. But minimalism is a beautiful thing. I'm all for it. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff I need to either throw away or give to Goodwill and things of that nature because it's just, I collect less stuff nowadays compared to 10 years ago. I'm all for the minimalism. Most stuff that's collected is digitized. It's online. Matter of fact, I hate when I have to do really anything from an analog perspective. Like today, I had to send a check off to a contractor working on one of my houses and whatnot. I'm in 2021, we're basically in the middle of 2021 now, and you still have companies that do not have access to online payment systems. It's crazy, but some people are just old fashioned, so it is what it is. Another reason was people interested in conveying the benefits of not having a job, because that's the thing that people don't talk about. We always talk about the benefits of having a job. And there's, like I said, once again, nothing wrong with having a job. We've been trained to have a job because that's just what society knows. Even because, and let's be realistic about this. A lot of educational institutions, when it comes, because entrepreneurialism isn't new. The way that it is nowadays is much more newer, but it's not a new thing. People having enterprise, people having businesses, it's not a new thing, but it's usually something that was either taught on, learned, by trial and error, or two, it was information passed down from generations. Great example. It's like little Timmy or Michael goes, or Samantha or Cindy goes to school. They they're taught one specific thing, but when they get home, their parents are like, hey, yeah, this is what school taught you. Now this is what we're going to teach you, because when we're dead, we want you to run the family business. So you got that standardized education, but when you come home, you're getting the real education in regards to how to run a business and run an empire and keep the money going so that your children's children can consistently keep the family name going, from your Johnsons and Johnsons to now your Amazons to, the list goes on and on. All your major corporations from your Bank of Americas to the Wells Fargos. The list goes on and on. Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A, the list goes on and on. McDonald's, hey, we want the tradition to carry on, and we're going to give you the game. This is what you're not going to learn in school. The school's going to teach you your A, B's, and C's, how to read and write, certain comprehension levels, but they're not going to teach you how to be a boss / business owner, and how to work stocks and bonds and real estate, how to get specific tax advantages, and how to even get a good seasoned tax professional to ensure that you never have to pay taxes and that you always get money back as a business owner. You know what I mean? So that's the benefits of a lot of times of not even having a job. And then the biggest benefits of not having a job, in my personal opinion, when you make money passively on any level, is you have the opportunity to live where you want to live, But these conversations are usually talked about in the school system. It's not the teacher's fault, because the teachers have a job. Not the principal's fault. The principals have a job. So they're not if they have a job, they can't teach you how to not have a job. That's why I said I'm not knocking education. I commend the people that work in the school system, especially people who work in the public school systems, because they have it the hardest at times. I work with a lot of people who used to be teachers. I'm friends with people who are teachers, so I'm not dogging anybody who's in the education system. You should be commended on a regular basis, period. And we're just going to keep it moving. All right. Keep this train moving. All right. But anyways, another reason, financial security. Because that's the number one reason why people have a job, in a sense. They want some sort of security. They lack financial security because the funny thing is, I've actually worked with people who come from money, um, who not only just people who come from just people who own businesses or whatnot, but people that actually, they call them trust fund babies and whatnot. But men and women, people from all different backgrounds. But they told me they work in their job not because they need the money, it's because they love what they do. And they don't ever feel like they work a day in their life, and actually they're only required to spend 8 hours a day at their job. However, they would spend up to about 10 to 12 hours a day at their job because they love what they do. Nothing but love and respect on that aspect. You know what I mean, family? Because to me, like, say if I was a billionaire today, I wouldn't stop working. I would just be working on the things that I love to do the most. I think most people could say that because, I mean, there's but so much, vacationing and hanging out on the beach one can do. You would get bored, because one thing, if you're even around people who are professionals or people who are entrepreneur minded, even when they're on vacation, they're talking some aspect of business on one way or the other, because to them, it's like talking about investments, talking about businesses, talking about a come up is like talking about NFL draft picks. It's like talking about the NBA. It's like talking about Major League Baseball. It's like talking about, hockey. The list goes on and on. It's like talking about sports. It's like talking about entertainment. That's their entertainment to them. They can be entertained by watching a movie and entertained by making money all at the same time. I think that's a beautiful thing. And another reason to go into diversified income streams. When the article actually states, when you have your own business, you can concentrate on having diversified income stream. A job pays you all at once, and if you lose it all of your money goes away. And that's another reason why you have to have multiple streams of income. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not going to go into depth into that because the pandemic shows that your job can dry up. The last big major recession shows that your job can dry up. So if your job dries up, you got to have various streams of another stream of income to have a backup plan. And even when you have that stream of income, you got to be working, especially my adults in the room, working on another stream of income. It just has to be the new norm, period. Always, and working on trying to double your income needs to be the new norm as well. Not double it so that you can look fancier, but double it so that you can do the two smart things: save and invest. That's it. I'm not giving no financial advice. I'm giving common sense advice. Save and invest. I'm not telling you what to invest in. I'm just saying, when it comes to investing, consult the financial professionals. They'll let you know what to do, because that's what I do. Anyways, number 3, contribute value to your legacy. Now that's deep. That's deep. Contribute value to your legacy. Because when you have a job, you're contributing value to the legacy of an organization that is bigger than you. Think about that. You're contributing value to the legacy of an organization that is bigger than you. What are you leaving behind as a legacy? I've talked about this on multiple occasions. Various other people, it's talked about on the internet all the time. Okay, because the biggest thing, like I said, with my generation, the millennial generation, and the next generation under us have seen, is that the people that put their money together, the people that live together, the people that buy assets together, not just by themselves, are the people that are winning more than when it comes to any other class of working people. For the most part, regular 9-to-5 working people that aren't collaborating with other people in regards to the execution of purchasing assets, the execution of saving assets, and the execution of leaving assets behind, are the ones that are the losers at the end of the day. Okay, all the degrees in the world mean nothing if you can't leave economic cushion for your child, or any other family members that you consider to be like this with. So it's nice to look at that degree on the wall, and that's all a beautiful thing. But it's even better when you pass away and you can leave somebody a house, a good insurance policy, a business. Must I go on? Okay. And then number 4, it's like it states, live anywhere. A lot of people are confined to live in certain areas because of their job. They have no options because of their job. The DMV is a perfect area of that. New York City is a great example of that. The Bay Area is a great example of that. even though that's slowly changing now because of the pandemic, people having more options to work remotely and be able to work from wherever they, whatever the heck they want to live, as long as they work at the specific hours that the employer says that they have to be on time. I mean, be at work and all that good stuff. And then being able to have different experiences to have a better chance of maybe even living in a place where there is a better job market or just a better quality of life. Maybe it's not so expensive and the living's not so crappy. You're free to be yourself and not having to be confined to a location because of your job. This is the new world right now. This, like I said, this article was written 7 years ago, but this is the new world right now. It's like this is what people want. They got a taste of it during the pandemic. And I tell you, especially my folks that work in the private sector, they're not looking to go back. Most are not looking to go back to the old ways of being stuck in a commercial building and around people that they don't really want to be around just so that they can make money. That's why there's just been this big influx of people piling their money into cryptocurrency, piling their money into stocks, piling their money into real estate, piling their money into businesses because they want options, cannot put it any other way. Number 5, unlimited vacations. Once again, a lot of people go live a life like they're on vacation, but they're constantly working. Okay. However, they're living in Panama, they're living in Ghana, they're living in Singapore, they're living in Europe, or they're just living in the middle of nowhere, the backwoods of Missouri or Pennsylvania and whatnot. And they can go vacationing and get in an RV and just, be on the road all the time or be on an airplane all the time. And, having the sky's the limit mentality because they're making money in a different way, not just a regular 9 to 5, and it kind of goes into number 6, choosing your own path. And you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, because most of us didn't know this coming up in grade school. We were just taught, get the good job, do what we're supposed to do. And, you get good grades, you get the degree, and all will be well with the world. Okay. But no one ever talked about really, well, you're going to be confined to living in only certain areas. If you choose a specific career path, you're not really going to be able to choose a life that you want to live. You're going to choose the life that you're going to be, in a sense, forced to live the life that your employer tells you have to live. And if that's okay with you, then that's fine. But I can say for most, my generation and the younger generation, we're not really for that. And we want to be able to have a life where we can choose our own path and not just live under the path that's being chosen for us by our employer and whatnot. That's why the millennial generation was the first generation. It was the new norm for people to not stay anywhere no more than 2 to 3 years as far as at a job and whatnot. Because they're like, hey, I'm about making more money. I'm about career advancement. And I'm about living what the heck I want to live. And I don't think that's selfish. You got to do what's right for you at the end of the day. And then, being able to have, not having a job, if you have a flexible schedule, a lot of times, heck, even myself, I've gotten used to not waking up super duper early. I've gotten used to having more of a flexible schedule and, going at my own leisure but still get things done, whether it's business or work wise and whatnot, but just to be able to be more flexible and not just feel like I'm living in such a rush lifestyle and whatnot. Another thing is on number 8, it says avoid reactionary workflow, where, the dominant society puts in this mentality that, you must crack down on, phone usage and, anytime and looking at every single hour on the hour, hoping and praying what time you need to get off and whatnot. And I think that's the beauty of one working from home. You're not looking at the clock so much to worry about what time you need to get off because you're not worrying about having to sit in traffic. You're not worried about missing your train, missing your bus to get to your destination, And I think that's another beautiful thing as well. And then people who are parents and whatnot, they have more control over seeing their children, so they worry about them less in regards to when they're not in school. They're like, hey, I know they should be at home at this time. If something bad happens at school, I'm closer to the school. I don't have to get on the highway to get there. I just can go a couple of streets to get over there. So it's to me, that's just a beautiful thing. You're just looking at these pluses. And then, if you have a happier workforce and you can have a more productive workforce, that's just, to me, that's just company 101, especially if you're trying to retain a decent workforce, And then another thing is number 9, you don't have to conform to other people's expectations. I agree with this. I like that one in a very big way because a lot of times one thing the workforce in high school have in common is one thing. It's everybody loves being a part of the popularity contest. Is there anything wrong with competition? Absolutely not. That's what makes the world go around. but having to conform to a dress code, having to conform to, the politics of what office and like, yeah, most people just want to go to work and do their job and go home. They don't want to engage in having a meeting about a meeting about a meeting about a meeting about a meeting. I mean, if you ever see that movie, the old movie Office Space, TPS reports or some crap like that. And then all the meetings and whatnot, and then all the events, and you just looked at people like, what was it, the birthday party, and it looked like it was a freaking Walking Dead. And when you don't have to worry about either having a job, or if you have the opportunity of working from home, then you can just avoid a lot of those crazy situations. You know what I mean? Number 10, my favorite, making money in your sleep. Okay. When you have the opportunity to make money in your sleep, I mean, Warren Buffett says the best, hey, if you don't know how to make money in your sleep, then you're going to work till the day you die. That was true then. It's true now. It's going to be true tomorrow. You can't put it any other way. So if one learns how to make money in their sleep and don't have to worry about punching a regular clock, then depending on the situation, the quality of life goes up. All right. And then number 11, freedom to be a leader. A lot of times we live in an age where people want to be able to lead their own lives. I see a lot of people who are part of a multitude of platforms, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's just selling specific goods on the side and whatnot. They feel more at peace when they're working their business. They feel more at peace when they're doing their hobby. And then they feel like, hey, this is what I'm actually chosen to do. I might have gone to school to be a professor, gone to school to be a doctor, but no, this is actually what I want to do with my life. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And it kind of goes into what number 12 is. Choose work that excites you. And I couldn't agree with that. There's a lot of reasons. There's a multitude of reasons why people work at churches or work at a food pantry, or work at work in the entertainment industry, or work, work that are in the military, that are in law enforcement, that are, they're paramedics. People are doing these things because it excites them. Okay, a lot of times they get an adrenaline rush. They love the fact that they're helping people. They love the fact that they're entertaining people. They love the fact that they're securing people. And that excites them. It brings joy. The people who are teachers, they love teaching young minds and watching young minds just grow and become the best people that they can be. And that's what I said. I have nothing but love and respect to the teachers and whatnot, because you guys shape what the future of not only the United States is going to be, but what the world is going to be. So nothing but love and respect to you at the same time. Number 13, another one of my favorites. Surround yourself with people you care about. Now, this is really deep, because a lot of times people in the workforce are around people that they don't care. They could care less about. Unless something, a horrific experience took place, they could not care less about them whatsoever. And that is, to me, a lot of times that makes you, it kind of, in a sense, creates a hostile work environment, to where you're just like, all right, well, I don't care about this person. I don't care about their engagement. And because I don't care about being engaged with them, and they don't really care about being engaged with me, a lot of times it can, in certain situations, affect the work. And in certain situations, especially if you're a blue collar worker, it can affect someone's life or livelihood. You know what I mean? Somebody could end up losing their life, end up losing a limb, things of that nature. So it's like, that's why a lot of times people prefer being in a family business. That's why they prefer being partnered with their best friends and whatnot, because they are around people that they would die for. Okay. They're around people that they will cut their arm off for. So a lot of times there's more love and there's more compassion, and then there's more strength in regards to not only getting the job done, but you're just surrounded by people that you feel like you're in a sea of love and whatnot. Some especially people who are parents, they said the best moments in their lives is just when they're around their children, having dinner with them, playing video games with them, playing sport with them, just hearing them talk, watch them dance, sing, whatever. Those are the best moments of their lives. And that's why a lot of people who own companies employ their children. Even when the kids are underage and whatnot, they employ them because they feel like they're just in a place of love. I could not agree with that statement more. Number 14. Now, this is a beautiful one. Sleep whenever you want. Now, a lot of people have had the opportunity during this pandemic to have the chance to just sleep in a little bit more, catch the night naps during the day and whatnot. And they feel much more rested and actually feel like that they've actually gotten a little bit of their life back. Even me, myself, I've actually gotten in better shape during the pandemic and whatnot, because I started taking my health more seriously, stopped stressing to try to get to specific locations as much, embracing the online culture in a bigger freaking way, to the point where I just have to make sure I'm on time online instead of on time to get physically someplace. And in my personal opinion, it's much more easier to log into something than it is to drive somewhere. That's just my opinion. All right. Number 15, the ultimate ROWE environment, ROW environment. And that stands for results only work environment. That is very interesting, but it's very true at the same time, because when you cut out a lot of minutia, especially whether you have your own business or you're working from home or whatnot, you're getting to the meats and potatoes. A lot of times when people are working in offices, not all the time, there's just so much gossip. Like I said, there's not that big of a difference from high school and having a job, because there's a lot of gossip. He said, she said nonsense. Age is nothing but a number, because a lot of people, they could be in their 60s and act like they're 14 years old. That's why I say that. And I've seen it with my own two eyes. Okay. So anyways, and a lot of times people, they get so caught up in the minutia, and they get so caught up in the politics and the gossip of the office, that a lot of projects don't end up getting done. Or a lot of times projects can't get done because a lot of people can claim that, especially when people are not working and this is from an office culture perspective, when people aren't working, don't have access to their job from their home, well, they can always use that excuse, well, I took the day off, or I didn't get that message, or blah, 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 blah. But hey, we looked online and we see that you were working. So how did you not get this instant message? How did you not get this email? Why would you not at this conference call and whatnot? Things of that nature. So it's just something I think a lot more people, and even corporate America themselves, don't just take it from me. They've stated that a lot of their people are not only happier, but they've actually been getting much more work done because they've been working from home. So why would they want to go back to the new norm, which actually can still save corporate America a lot more money in regards to not leasing or owning commercial space? Which goes into number 16, work on projects which will change the world. A lot of times, especially if you own your own business, you feel like you're not only just making money, but you're actually contributing to the world, especially to people who are rich. A lot of times they actually love working on nonprofit organization projects that actually help, because they have much more free time on their hands. They actually want to give more time to other people so that they can help other people within the community and help make the community a better place. A lot of business owners do that because they feel like they are not only the backbone, but the fabric of the community. I love that. All right. And another one, number 17, you only have to make yourself and maybe your significant other happy. I mean, and that can be true. It's like, when you have a job, you have to make your boss happy, your colleagues happy, et cetera, and so forth. But if you're working for yourself, then you're just making yourself happy and significant other happy. And then that just cuts down. That actually cuts down on the stress in your life. Number 18, prepare your own food. Now, I've been preparing my own food, regardless of having a job or not, for a long time. I'm very militant in regards to what I eat on a regular basis. That's why sometimes I laugh at people's like, I don't know what I want to eat. I was like, I always know what I want to eat. I don't have that issue. But that's just me. But at the end of the day, obviously, it's much more better for you to bring your own food than for you to go out to eat all the time. I know that it actually contributes to the economy when you do that. However, preparing your own food, especially when you have healthier food, and I think we live in a time frame where we know it's best to try to be as healthy as possible. No one's saying never have anything unhealthy, but it's definitely in everyone's best interest to be as healthy as possible. And when you don't have a job or you're able to work from home, you have much more time to prepare your food and much more time to actually even look online to see what's the best foods to eat. So not only ensure that you're healthy, but you can make sure your family's healthy all at the same time. And number 19, now this is one I love. You're not waiting for retirement. I repeat, you're not waiting for retirement. I'm actually going to read what the article stated. It states, just wait until you're 65. Then you can do whatever you want. We've been told this for a long time. You can do whatever you want. You just got to turn 65. Now it's like 70. But I mean, most people want to be able to do whatever they want when they're young and athletic. That's why there's been such a big entrepreneurial push right now, if we're going to be honest. There's been a big push to for people to work from home, because a lot of people like, okay, you've had a lot of cut down on this. I want to be my own boss, because a lot of people have the opportunity to work from home. So they feel like they can still, in a sense, do whatever they want, especially for those that have had the opportunity to relocate to other parts of the country or other parts of the world that they actually want to live in. But just working to this till I'm 65 thing or 75 thing, I mean, now in today's world, millennials, Generation Z, most do not want to be in that category. They do not want to work till they're 65. They don't, and I've heard, even myself, I've heard the people that like part of the Generation X, the Generation X generation. A lot of them are talking about, I just got 10 to 15 more years and I can finally get my pension. And I'm just like, well, if that's all you are counting on, and you haven't been putting a significant amount of money away, and you don't have other streams of income, all you got is your pension and your Social Security nowadays. That doesn't mean that's not adding up, unless you're gonna live in a third world country. That's just my personal opinion. I'm leaving it at that. I'm not a financial expert, but I'm just, I've done the numbers, a lot of people's pension plans, and I'm just like, yeah, you're still gonna have to work unless you plan on living. You have to live in like a rural area where you don't have a mortgage, and the property taxes better be cheap. I mean, that's why West Virginia is such a popular state for retirees, because that's the only state that you can actually buy real estate and not to pay any personal property taxes on your house. So if you're looking to have that lifestyle, looking to go buying a house in West Virginia, that's your business, not mine. My mindset is whatever makes you happy. Number 20, you get time to focus on what's more important. And like I said, what's more important is focusing on your health, focusing on your family, and focusing on being happier. So that's just another thing to take into consideration. And number 21 was actually pretty cool. It says cool people don't have jobs anymore. Interesting concept. And the article actually says, face it, it's so cool to tell people that you're self-employed. However, it's not cool to brag about the fact that you have the best hours, a flexible work schedule, and that you get to work on things that matter in front of people who have jobs. Don't rub it in. The best self-employed rock stars show they don't tell. And that's actually interesting, because I never thought we'd be living in a time frame where it's cool to not have a job, but it's actually cool to not have a job. I mean, a lot of people love the fact that they could just, work the hours that they want to work. Their lives a lot more flexible. They get to spend more time with their family members. They get to go to places they never thought they could go to. And I think that's a cool thing, But like I said, once again, not knocking having a job. I'm just saying you got to look at things from all angles and all aspects. My mindset at the end of the day, if you wake up and you're happy with your life, that's the best thing, period. Whether you have a job, you don't have a job, that's your business. All right. And then another thing is I'm going to skip 22 because I feel like I'm being repetitive, but 23 states working for yourself is the best way to approach work in a recession. This is interesting. I'm going to read this from the article. Look around you. No important businesses. And because remember, this article was actually written a couple of years after the beginning of the 2007 recession. It says, look around you. No important businesses are hiring anymore. Big businesses are hunkered down and waiting for us to come out of this recession. You can either wait until the recession is over to find the job you truly desire, or you can settle for less than the best. The Subway sandwich shop near me is hiring sandwich artists, but that doesn't mean you should apply there. And that's interesting because we've seen that even now in today's pandemic. A lot of businesses have gone out of business. A lot of businesses were able to get bailed out. But if these last two situations in the United States and around the world haven't taught people that you have to have alternatives, then I don't know what will. People know they have to have alternatives a lot of times, where they're going to live, what kind of vehicle they're going to drive, kind of medical care they're going to have, kind of education that they're going to have. But they don't think when it comes to income earning that they need to have options. And I think you have to put that on the same shelf of health, education, medical. I mean, the list goes on and on. You got to put all that in the same way. People have a variety of places that they can eat, but do you have a variety of places where you can pull money from? You got to ask yourself that question. I can't answer that question for you. All right. Now, this one was actually corny. I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to go into it. It says showers in the middle of the day. That's some real yuppie stuff. So I'm just going to be like, okay, great. I guess some people need to take multiple showers a day. Number 25, I like this one, multiple paydays. And that's the one thing I can say I've loved ever since I've opened up my businesses, having multiple paydays, not just waiting twice a month to get paid, or waiting every week, or sometimes every time. Certain companies actually pay people every week. Being able to have multiple paydays, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that, like a lot of people who do the Uber driving, the door dashing, work for Amazon part-time and whatnot, delivering. People, when they do that, they have more paydays instead of just, twice a month or once a week. A lot of times they get paid every day, or with their investments, they get paid every day. So that, to me, that is a beautiful thing. And that just needs to become the new norm, because when it boils down to it, most entrepreneurs, every day is a payday for them. And this poem was kind of corny. I'll read it, but I'm not going to go into it. It's number 26. You don't have to sit at a desk under fluorescent lights all day. And I get the context of that, but my mindset is you have a job, you got to sit someplace, get up and walk around. There's nothing against the law that says that. And the last but not least, uncertainty keeps you on your toes. Now, I can believe that, because a lot of times before the recession to before the pandemic, the article states jobs seem so certain. You're protected from the harsh realities of the world in a lot of situations. This can be a good thing, but it can also keep you in a dark place. And the article stated, I'm convinced that we grow with uncertainty. And I agree with that statement at the end of the day. Uncertainty a lot of times makes people thrive in various aspects. I've seen that. I mean, people grow in whether it was the military in a war situation, law enforcement in a criminal situation, or a lot of times people just growing, when they were in school, college and whatnot. There's a lot of uncertainty because a lot of times people go to college, they don't know what they're actually going to major in. A lot of times they thrive in chaos. Or a lot of times when people get a new project to work on, they thrive because they don't know the certainty of how that project is going to work out. When you open a business, there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of times you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. It just depends on the situation. And a lot of times most people just thrive through a lot of uncertainty. People that work out, go to the gym, you don't get buff overnight. You don't get in shape overnight. And the certainty of you getting in shape is not 100% there. You got to continuously work at it and figure out what works for you, because what works for one person is not going to work for the next person. That's the same thing in business, the same thing in a job, same thing with economics, period. All right. So anyways, family, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I actually had some fun. I needed this after the week I've had. It's definitely been a crazy week, family. If you've been watching, do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. That's all I ask. It's always greatly appreciated. Um, my dog Isis passed away on Thursday. We had to let her rest with the angels. The old saying, all dogs go to heaven. And I'm going to truly miss my dog Isis. She definitely was the beacon of the family, and she will always be missed. Make sure this is a picture, last picture of her before she rests with the angels. And she's always going to be missed. And that's why I haven't been on live in a minute, family. So that's why I'm just making sure. Let me make sure this popped up. So I'm checking my cell phone right now. All right. So yeah, hopefully you guys get a good look of her. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me do this. All right. So on that note, family, hopefully you guys have a great night. Hopefully you guys appreciated the content. Actually feel good to get back out here and start making content again. And, hopefully you guys have a great day. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for the love, as always. And we're out. Thank you, Marquita. I appreciate that. I really do. Enjoy your life, family. That's all I got to say. Because you only get one. All right. As always, make money moves or live broke like a fool. I'm out.